Hello, everybody. My name is CO Orrise, and in case you guys didn't know, there was a new Bluey app that dropped a couple days ago. Yeah, I think it's a couple days ago at this point, and it is carrying a absolutely incredible rating of 2.8 stars currently on Google Play Store, and believe me, there is a good reason for that. So, I downloaded the game because, of course, as a very tenured Bluey fan myself, I wanted to see what all the fuss was about, and I wanted to see why it was rated so low. And I very quickly found out why. So this game has a lot of problems, and you could tell it wasn't made to be engaging in the slightest, and it was definitely made for parents to let their kids waste time on their electronics and do absolutely nothing worthwhile for their children. So let's get started with the problems, shall we? So the first problem with this app is that as soon as you go in the app, you are hit immediately with a paywall that basically locks like 90% of the content of the game. And that is stupid. That is completely ridiculous. And that's like basically the entire reason it's rated so low. The problem with the paywall is that what the paywall is telling me is that they're trying to make this game a cash grab like so many other children's mobile app games, and they're trying to obviously just get all that money from the paywall. So now they got all these parents who get this game for their children. These children can be like, "Hey mom, I want this, but it costs $10 a month." And obviously no logical parent should do that because that's idiotic. First of all, the paywall's not even worth it. I paid for the paywall to see what I was getting into, and it's just nothing but the same exact content, but that's another problem. It tells me that the paywall makes it a cash grab, which means it's not worth downloading. You shouldn't support Budge Studios because obviously they don't deserve their Bluey license because they're just looking to make it a cash grab and they don't actually care about the people who are playing their game. The next couple problems I would like to address are also kind of intertwined with the whole paywall thing. These are basically me explaining why the paywall isn't even worth getting past. Why it's not even worth being paid for. Why it's a complete waste of money through and through. First of all, there is a complete lack of reasoning for other characters. Buying the paywall to use other characters is like paying money in Fortnite to buy V-Bucks to play as other characters. It is purely cosmetic. Different characters, there's no difference between the characters. They don't do anything different. There's nothing special about them. It's just the same thing with a different person. And that is just uninteresting and boring and means absolutely nothing. So that doesn't make the paywall worth it at all. And the other thing that the paywall blocks out is a lot of the other... No, not even a lot. Like 90% of the other rooms are locked behind the paywall. But the funny thing about that is that's also not worth it. Even for the rooms themselves are not interesting at all. They are all the different rooms. There's just... It's so boring. There's nothing really to do. If you want to actually, like, engage yourself, you have to dig deep. You have to, like, spend a lot of time just, like, going around and touching random stuff. But even when you do find something interesting, like, it doesn't last. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing to do. It's boring. And the paywall makes it a complete waste of money because you think you're going to get additional content by paying for the paywall, but you're not. And it is completely useless. And like I said before, It's a complete waste of money. You should not spend your money on this because this game is a cash grab, as evidenced by the low rating. So another thing that makes this game as horribly uninteresting as it is the fact that the objects in this game, they're not interesting either. Because the whole thing that they have on their Google Play Store description is, oh, you can use your imagination, you can interact with every single object, you can interact with everything. That is incredible. It's just absolutely everything, and you can do whatever you want. I played the game for a little bit, and it appears the most you can do is make things, you can tap on random stuff to make them, do whatever. Like there's a hose in the backyard and you can tap on it and it'll turn the hose on. There's a shower in the bathroom in the tub. You can turn the hose on too. But everything you can interact with here is super inconsequential and means absolutely nothing and is not exciting in the slightest. And there's just half of these things, there's like no reason for them. Sometimes there'll be food that you can feed to whatever characters you decide to put in the stage, whatever stage you're in, but that's not interesting either. There's nothing to do. It's just boring. You just sit there and you stare at a character's face and tap on random stuff. That's all this app is. It's just looking at Bluey characters and tapping on random stuff and looking to get past a paywall when it means absolutely nothing. It pretty much offers no additional content. None. Now, that might be a bold claim because, 90% of this game is hidden behind a paywall, but there's nothing. It's all just the same thing. It's like a free trial in a sense where they're giving you the experience. And to continue the free trial, you got to pay for the rest of it if you want to continue experiencing the same exact experience. It's just the same thing. All right, this is kind of like a smaller nitpick of mine, but this was a really big disappointment when I tried playing. So, going around, you'll find several objects, like the bathtub, or the shower, or the trampoline. And I was like, of course, as any normal person would, I was like, because obviously this is like a sort of boring, super boring sandbox game, but like Bluey themed. So like any normal person, I decided I'm going to try to put 1 million people on the trampoline. But then, to my disappointment, when I realized that my disappointment was immeasurable and my day was ruined, I found out you could only put like 1 or 2 or 3 people on something at one time, depending on the size. And that was really disappointing to me because, you know what? I really wanted to see all those people jumping on the trampoline, and I really wanted to see all those people taking a bath together. That's like the kind of entertaining stuff you'd expect out of a sandbox app. But no, the app limits you, and that just makes it extra boring. And the fact that all the characters seem to lack any personality, like I said, they're all just reskins of one another. They all have the same expressions. They all do the same exact things. It just makes it so disappointing. The last problem I'm going to address here is the clear lack of structure. As I said before, this is at heart a sandbox app, which means the point of it is to just do whatever you want. But considering how boring the game is, I think the idea of this being a sandbox app completely now works against it, because now you have nothing to do. If this game had tasks or achievements or levels or something along that line to give it a bit of structure, it would give you an end goal, and it would actually make the time playing at least a little bit worthwhile. But there isn't any structure here. There's no levels. You are just completely free roam, left to your own vices. And that works against the app because, like I said before, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to spend time on. And this is boring, super boring. As I keep saying again and again, there's nothing to do here. So giving it a lack of structure would actually help to remedy it being boring, but there is no structure here, and it's just a sandbox. And it's just not worth playing at all. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this dumpster fire of an app, and it's really unfortunate that, some people, they've probably been excited about a Bluey app for so long, and the fact that they are being exposed to this after being so excited for so long, just this horrible, boring cash grab sandbox that is completely inconsequential in every way, and it, first of all, is not going to help your kid do anything. Obviously, if Bluey is going to make a children's app, it should be not only entertaining, but also, help to teach lessons just like inside the show. But this game doesn't do any of that. Instead, it's a sandbox where you're left to do whatever you want. However, whatever you want is nothing. There is no imagination in here. It's just combining characters and making them hold stuff and just nothing. Now, obviously, the only attempt that this app even tried to put forth to make it at least a little bit entertaining is they have like recipes of stuff you could drag together, and you could build a pizza oven, and you could create like two things in the kitchen. But what about everything else? This is like all this app has to offer. Those recipes. That is pretty much like what's holding the game up for it at least to have a teeny bit of engagement. But that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. That it's just unfortunate that we've been graced with such a obviously cash grabby type game where it's hidden behind a paywall, but there's nothing beyond the paywall. And I feel bad. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next video, and guys, please, for the love of God, do not spend your money on the paywall. That is a horrible investment, and you are doing nothing but giving money to an obviously greedy company who wants to take advantage of kids and their parents and get as much money as possible.